Mike Tyson will always be remembered as one of the most fearless fighters of all time. It's no surprise he became the youngest heavyweight champion in the world when everyone was betting on his defeat. In today's video, we'll travel through the history of the beast, Iron Mike, to relive some of his most authentic displays of power and strength in the ring. Buckle up, because there will be a lot of turbulence. Fortunately, we won't be the ones facing Tyson in his prime. Content: Mike Tyson versus Eddie Richardson. It was 1985, and for the fighters who crossed his path, it seemed like there was nothing better to do than lose to the newly oiled knockout machine, Mike Tyson. On November 13th at the Ramada Houston Hotel in Houston, Texas, the next one in line was none other than Eddie Richardson. At the time, Richardson was the Southern boxing champion. When he stepped into the ring, his announced record was 12 wins, 8 of them by knockout, contrasting with 2 losses. None as brutal as the one he was about to face. Mike entered the ring with an impeccable professional record of 11 wins, each secured by knockout. But this fight in particular represented a personal challenge for young Iron Mike. Cus D'Amato, his greatest mentor in the sport, had passed away just 9 days earlier from pneumonia, and now Tyson had to step into the ring to honor his name. With Barry Yates as the third man in the ring, the fight began. First round. As soon as the bell rang, chaos ensued. Tyson's first blow, a right cross, sent Richardson to the canvas just 8 seconds into the fight.
Cus D'Amato, of course, right hand by Tyson.
There was no doubt that Mike had left his corner with the intention of destroying anyone in his path. When Yates's count reached 7, Richardson got back on his feet. The fight continued with Tyson chasing him all around the ring, throwing powerful punches to the head. Richardson could do little more than circle the ring, occasionally throwing a jab while focusing on dodging Mike's lethal punches. Richardson's escape plan was blocked by a left hand from Tyson, which buckled his knees at 1 minute and 5 seconds, sending him to the canvas for the second time, crashing down on his back.
He predicts a great future. If they can find some fights, then...
Richardson seemed to have had enough. He lay there on the cold canvas, making very little effort to get up. When Yates's count ended, Richardson was helped back to his feet by both Yates and Mike. Tyson's victory was declared at 1 minute and 17 seconds of the first round in a fight scheduled for 8 rounds. This marked Mike's 6th consecutive first-round knockout. After the fight, the press asked Richardson if he had ever been hit that hard before, to which he replied, "Yes, about a year ago. I got hit by a truck." Mike Tyson versus Larry Holmes. On January 22, 1988, it was Larry Holmes' turn. In the ring of the Atlantic City Convention Center, New Jersey, Tyson and Holmes headlined the event Heavyweight History. It was Tyson's 2nd defense of the IBF heavyweight title, his 4th defense of the WBA heavyweight title, and his 5th defense of the WBC heavyweight title. Tyson, at 21 years old, was 17 years younger than the 38-year-old Holmes, who had been out of the ring for 21 months. It was a true clash between the craftiness and experience of a veteran and the power and strength of a rising talent. Mike entered the ring as the heavy favorite with 8-to-1 odds. That night, he would not disappoint. With Joe Cortez as the third man in the ring, a true heavyweight chapter in history was written. Fight summary. From the sound of the bell, Mike was the undisputed aggressor. He managed to trouble Holmes with his punches on more than one occasion. Surprisingly, Holmes seemed uninterested in matching Tyson's power, instead focusing on surviving his brutal offense.
Tyson showing no respect so far, boring in the way he awkward as he lunged forward with the left hand.
This semi-passive stance led to his downfall.
The referee. Defensive fighter in this the first round. Looking at... Big question is how long can his legs stay strong? There's a lot of pressure on him. Again, Tyson tried. Oh! First good right hand landed.
In the 4th round, as Holmes tried to escape, he was caught by Iron Mike. Then, with a powerful right hand, Mike put Holmes in serious trouble. The right landed square on Holmes' chin, sending him down to the canvas, landing on the seat of his trunks in Tyson's corner.
Larry Holmes cannot continue that round after round. Oh! A big right hand!
Cortez counted to 4 before Holmes got back up, holding onto the ropes to hear the mandatory 8 count. Before continuing, Holmes shook his head several times to clear it, releasing the ropes only when Tyson was already coming toward him. Tyson unleashed his infamous left and right punches, trying to break through and land the final blow. A strong right hand from Tyson sent Holmes crashing against the ropes and down to the canvas again.
His legs are gone, and in comes Mike. There was a big right hand. Larry's nailed again. Down he goes.
But refusing to be defeated, Holmes got back up at the count of 5. Cortez quickly checked his ability to continue and gave the signal to resume the fight. At this point, Iron Mike seemed determined to finish it. Tyson landed punch after punch, some causing Holmes' head to snap back like a bobblehead doll in a car. By now, ringside assistants began pleading for mercy, shouting at Cortez to stop the fight. Ignoring their pleas, the fight continued. Holmes kept trying to escape, with Tyson closely pursuing him. Suddenly, another devastating right hand dropped Holmes. This time, as soon as the challenger's limp body hit the canvas, Cortez waved off the fight.
Now with the right hand, the left hand. He's gonna hang on, or he'll stop the fight. Down he goes.
I felt there was no need to bother counting, he later commented when interviewed by the press. At 2 minutes and 55 seconds of the 4th round, Mike Tyson secured an incredible technical knockout victory over Larry Holmes. Truly a heavyweight history moment. But in the opposite corner, dark times loomed. Holmes didn't fight for more than 3 years after the defeat. However, he returned in 1991 and continued fighting until 2002, though he never sought a rematch with the man who had become his executioner that night in the ring. Mike Tyson versus Peter McNeely. The 1990s began with a dramatic turn in Mike Tyson's personal life. Tyson had defeated the second-ranked heavyweight contender, Donovan "Razor" Ruddock, twice in 1991. Shortly after his second victory over Ruddock, a major deal was reached for Tyson to face the undisputed heavyweight champion, Evander Holyfield, on November 8, 1991. However, before the fight could happen, Tyson was arrested for the rape of 18-year-old Desiree Washington. He was later found guilty on February 10, 1992, and sentenced to 6 years in prison on March 26th. After serving 3 years, Tyson was released on parole on March 25, 1995, and held a brief press conference on March 29th to announce his return to boxing. After much debate about who his first opponent would be, including discussions of a possible super fight with George Foreman, it was announced that Tyson would face the relatively unknown Peter McNeely on August 19, 1995. At the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, with Mills Lane as referee, Iron Mike made his triumphant return to the ring. First round. At the sound of the opening bell, the fighters left their corners. McNeely immediately attacked Tyson aggressively as they met in the center of the ring. Mike dodged McNeely's wild punches and landed a fearless right hook that knocked McNeely down in less than 10 seconds.
McNeely, as advertised, comes right at Mike Tyson. Down goes McNeely.
After taking an 8 count from Lane, McNeely was able to continue and resumed his aggressive attack on Tyson. The two fighters exchanged blows in the corner, with the first minute of the round passing in a frenzy.
Pounding away, Mike Tyson.
Less than 20 seconds later, Tyson landed a right uppercut that once again sent McNeely to the canvas.
Nonsense, because they were starting to butt heads. Oh.
Tyson with a left hook, a right uppercut, down goes McNeely again.
McNeely was visibly shaken, and his manager, Vinny Vecchione, knew it. Vecchione jumped into the ring to prevent his fighter from taking more damage, an unprecedented act that led Lane to stop the fight, awarding Tyson the victory by disqualification. After such a dramatic scene, there was no doubt. The Beast was back. Mike Tyson versus Alfonso Ratliff. Going back to 1986, the next name in Mike Tyson's long list of victims featured in this video is Alfonso Ratliff. On September 6th, Iron Mike stepped into the ring at the Hilton Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. To extend his incredible undefeated record, the fight was part of the undercard for Michael Spinks versus Stefan Tangstad and ended up stealing much of the night's spotlight. Mike was announced with a flawless professional record of 26 wins, 24 of them by knockout. In the opposite corner, Ratliff had 21 wins, 16 by knockout, and 3 losses. Tyson entered the fight ranked as the #1 heavyweight contender by the WBA and #2 by the WBC. Ratliff was barely ranked, sitting at number 20 in the WBC heavyweight rankings. With Davey Pearl as the third man in the ring, the fight commenced. Fight summary. Throughout the first round, Ratliff felt the rush of adrenaline as he was relentlessly pursued by the young beast, Iron Mike. At the start of the second round, a brutal left uppercut floored Ratliff. With great courage, Ratliff managed to get up as Pearl counted to 9 and showed he was fit to continue. As soon as Pearl gave the signal, Tyson pounced, throwing a barrage of punches while Ratliff, probably regretting his decision to continue, tried to escape along the ropes. It was only a matter of time before a violent right hook rocked Ratliff, serving as the precursor to a vicious left hook that sent him crashing to the canvas once again.
Pearl looking very closely, and that's all. It's over.
Ratliff, who fell to all fours, didn't even attempt to get up, showing the heart of a true warrior in the ring. Pearl showed mercy and immediately stopped the fight. At 1 minute and 41 seconds into the second round, Tyson secured his technical knockout victory over Ratliff. Fun fact, this was the third knockout loss of Ratliff's professional career. He fought only 9 more times after this bout, adding 4 wins and 5 losses to his record. Mike Tyson versus Marvis Fraser. Have you ever wondered what was the fastest knockout in Mike Tyson's professional career? To relive it, we must travel back to July 26, 1986. That night, Mike stepped into the ring at the Civic Center in Glen Falls, New York, to face Marvis Fraser. Tyson entered as the number 2 ranked heavyweight contender by the WBC, while Fraser held the 9th spot in the same ranking and the 4th by the IBF. Mike was announced with an impressive professional record of 24 wins, 22 by knockout. In the opposite corner, Fraser had a record of 16 wins, only 7 by knockout, and 1 loss. With Joe Cortez as the third man in the ring, the fight began. First round. When the opening bell rang, the fighters met in the center of the ring. Fraser, likely still thinking of a strategy to handle the beast in front of him, was caught by a violent right hook. Tyson then forced him into the corner, where he delivered a savage uppercut that left Fraser flat on the canvas.
Very quickly. Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt.
Out of formality, Joe Cortez began the count. He reached 5 before signaling the end of the fight. With only 30 seconds into the bout, this became the fastest knockout in Tyson's professional career. For Fraser, it marked his second knockout loss, the first being to Larry Holmes, who had an undefeated record of 44 wins, also in the first round. Preis und Tratilsiden Mike Tyson versus Jesse Ferguson. A fighter who deserves recognition for surviving beyond the halfway point of a fight against Iron Mike during his prime is Jesse Ferguson. On February 16, 1986, the young knockout machine stepped into the ring at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in New York to continue building his undefeated record. But it wouldn't be easy. Ferguson was introduced with a professional record of 14 wins, 10 by knockout, and 1 loss. Impressive, but not compared to Tyson's 17 wins, all by knockout, and no losses. With Luis Rivera as the referee, the fight began. Fight summary. Tyson landed powerful hooks to the body and snapped Ferguson's head back with a couple of uppercuts. Ferguson spent much of the first half of the first round against the ropes, actively trying to block Mike's punches, but occasionally landing a few of his own in the final minute.
In the Carl Williams fight, we saw just
Have some of Tyson's 12 first-round knockout victims, but now
In the second round, Tyson continued his vicious body attacks.
Career to make it as far as round 2. Now we're told that it's Tyson gets
absolutely not, would not try to wait Tyson out.
Much of the third round was fought in close quarters, where Mike clearly dominated Ferguson, who remained trapped against the ropes. Ferguson, however, did manage a decent flurry of punches midway through the third round that briefly sent Tyson's head backward.
And almost no one in the arena believed before this began that it would go to a decision.
He is not breathing heavily. He looks in pretty good shape at this point.
You would
By the start of the fourth round, Ferguson showed his frustration by grabbing Tyson's arms, complaining of low blows.
He hit a low blow, as he has been hit a few during this fight. His problem is his trunks are...
Now Jesse appears to want to say something to Tyson about the low blow.
Despite his protests, only Ferguson was warned for leading with his head and holding Tyson behind the head. After the bell rang to end the fourth round, Ferguson initiated a brief scuffle by landing a couple of punches after the bell, which Tyson immediately answered with his own punches. At the beginning of the 5th round, Ferguson threw a jab and tried to stay close enough to smother Tyson's power. However, Mike found success by stepping back or to the side, landing solid combinations to the body. At 2 minutes and 14 seconds into the 5th round, a tenacious right uppercut from Tyson broke Ferguson's nose, sending him crashing to the canvas.
A TKO defeat, not a decision. Was in trouble in both the 1st and 10th rounds, and now he's in trouble here.
Ferguson rose at the count of 8, only to endure more punishment from Iron Mike for the remainder of the round.
Broke Ferguson's nose, Jim. He is in desperate trouble. He will not last much longer.
Cortez stayed close to the action, ready to prevent Ferguson from taking unnecessary damage. By the 6th round, Ferguson seemed to recover slightly and came out throwing sharp jabs, but Tyson soon pinned him against the ropes, landing several strong shots to the head.
Jesse Ferguson is hurt.
Ferguson resorted to clinching again and was warned just after the minute mark for excessive holding. A few seconds later, Ferguson clung to Tyson's gloves to prevent the referee from breaking the clinch. By then, Cortez had had enough. Ferguson's behavior was unacceptable and unworthy of a warrior in the ring. The referee waved his arm overhead and disqualified Ferguson for holding and refusing to let go when ordered. Initially, it was ruled that Tyson had won by disqualification at 1 minute and 19 seconds of the 6th round in a fight scheduled for 10 rounds. However, the commission later changed the result, awarding Mike a victory by technical knockout. Pros. Rob conclusion. If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, the best way to support my content is by leaving a like on the video. Which of these violent displays of power was your favorite? What other example of Iron Mike's strength and power should be revisited in a second part of this video? Let me know in the comments.